Hi guys, CSDL here. So, I don't know about you guys, but I love to read books. But I have been so bad about actually reading books lately, and that is something I do really want to change. So I thought a good way to break this bad book reading habit was to participate in a readathon. So, as you may have seen from my title of this video, I chose the OWL Readathon, which is a Harry Potter themed challenge started by Book Roast on YouTube. And if you want to check out her channel or her information on this OWL Readathon, I will link her stuff in the description box below. So essentially what you're doing is you pick from a huge list of careers, and each of those careers has your OWL and your Newt requirements. And each of those requirements is listed as a Hogwarts class. And those classes will determine the type of book that you are going to be reading. For example, I chose Magi Zoologist for my career, and the OWL requirements are Care of Magical Creatures, Charms, Herbology, and Potions. And if you want to participate, I will also link the website where you go to find all your careers and all of that. But something really cool is all of the information looks like documents or papers that you would find like in Hogwarts. So this is the sheet that would tell you what classes equal what books, and just a quick little, the Magi Zoologist page, like they look very official if you want to print them out for yourself. And what you do then is you read, for the OWLs anyway, you will read a book that meets the class requirements shown in the photo. I'll put a photo somewhere so you can see what the requirements are. But basically, for Care of Magical Creatures, you have to read a book with a beak on the cover. For Charms, it is a book with a white cover. For Herbology, it is a title that starts with an M, and for Potions, it is a book under 150 pages. And you will have the whole month of April to complete your OWLs or to read all the books. So also this year, there are these extra seminars, and each one has its own OWL and Newt requirements. But they're like a fun little extra you can do if you just want more of a challenge or just something a little different. And since I chose the Magi Zoologist career, I thought the seminar for Merpeople Linguistics and the Legal Defense of Fantastic Beasts would be super fun, because who doesn't want to be the best Niffler lawyer that they can be, because they need lawyers. They steal a lot of things. Like, they need it. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. So, I will be adding those to my list, but since Merpeople Linguistic completely overlaps with Magi Zoologist, I'm not actually adding an extra book, but the Legal Defense of Fantastic Beasts does have one extra requirement that Magi Zoologist does not, and that is History of Magic. Which, History of Magic is a book featuring a witch or wizard. So now we will get to my TBR. For Care of Magical Creatures, we have oops. He's fine. He's fine. It's totally fine. So for Care of Magical Creatures, we have Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton. So for this book, I was literally just browsing a bookstore with my boyfriend trying to find a book with a beak on the cover, and this was what we found, that the most interesting find, I guess I should say, for me. This one caught my attention, spoke to me, seemed fun. So it has a crow for the beak, but it also on the back has an octopus, so it technically has two beaks. Overachieving, I know. So this book, I chose it because it seemed like a fun mix of funny and horror. I will read you the inside cover so you can get kind of an idea. Well, I will read you like the back or inside covers of all my TBRs so you can get an idea of what each of the books will be about if you want to check them out for yourself. So we will start with Hollow Kingdom. St, a domesticated crow, is a bird of simple pleasures. He spends his days hanging out with his owner, Big Jim, avoiding the slobbering affection of Big Jim's loyal but dim-witted dog, Dennis, trading insults with Seattle's wild crows, binge-watching nature documentaries, and binge-eating the finest food humankind has to offer: Cheetos. Then, on a beautiful summer evening, Big Jim's eyeball falls out of his head, and St starts to feel like something isn't quite right. When his tired and true remedies, from beak-delivered beer to an inventive cocktail of stolen pharmacy drugs, fail to bring Big Jim back to health, St is left with no choice but to abandon his old life and venture out with his trusty steed, Dennis, to find a cure. Outside the safety of his home, the city of Seattle is a wild and frightening new world. Big Jim's neighbors, victims of the same mysterious malady, are now devouring everything warm-blooded in their path, and the once orderly suburbs have become feral jungles. Meanwhile, local wildlife is abuzz with cryptic rumors, which the cowardly St has no choice but to follow if he wants to rescue the only world he knows from certain destruction. Brimming with hope and heart, this irrepressible debut introduces humanity's improbable hero in the form of a foul-mouthed crow with a moderate to severe junk food addiction who believes that, despite all its flaws, the world is worth saving. So, like zombie apocalypse, but animals, it just seemed really fun and cute, so we will give this one a try for Care of Magical Creatures. For Charms, a book with a white cover, I chose Death du Jour by Kathy Reichs. If any of you are familiar with the television show Bones, the main character, Dr. Brennan, is inspired by this author, Kathy Reichs, who is a real-life forensic anthropologist and author. So in her books, in Kathy Reichs' books, the main character is Dr. Temperance Brennan. And in Bones, she also writes books, and in her books, the main character is named after Kathy Reichs. So some fun little television facts there. Let's read the back cover of this one. In the bitter cold of a Montreal winter, Tempe Brennan is digging for a corpse buried more than a century ago. But it's a chain of contemporary deaths and disappearances that has seized her attention, and she alone is ideally placed to make a chilling connection among the seemingly unrelated events. At the crime scene, at the morgue, and in the lab, Tempe probes a mystery that sweeps from a deadly Quebec fire to startling discoveries in the Carolinas and culminates in Montreal with a terrifying showdown, a nerve-shattering test of her affinities for both science and survival. Okay, so this book I have had on my bookshelves for years, and I have never read it, so this felt like a perfect opportunity to finally get to some of my books that have, you know, they just been on the shelves, but you don't read them, but you're a book hoarder, so it happens, right? Yeah. So for herbology, or a book that starts with M, I chose Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Let's read the back cover. The mists rule the night. The Lord Ruler owns the world. Once, a hero arose to save the world. A young man with a mysterious heritage courageously challenged the darkness that strangled the land. He failed. For 1,000 years since, the world has been a wasteland of ash and mist, ruled by the immortal emperor known as the Lord Ruler. Every revolt has failed miserably. Yet somehow, hope survives. Hope that dares to dream of ending the empire and even the Lord Ruler himself. A new kind of uprising is being planned, one built around the ultimate caper, one that depends on the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind and the determination of an unlikely heroine, a street urchin who must learn to master allomancy, the power of a Mistborn. So I have heard a lot of good things about Brandon Sanderson, and this was another book that was on my shelves, but I haven't read, so I thought, yes, let's also put this one on the list, and hopefully get through some of the books that I've been hoarding and not reading. For potions, or a book under 150 pages, I went with a Harry Potter classic, The Tales of Beedle the Bard. So this one's back cover says, The Tales of Beedle the Bard. Contains 5 richly imaginative stories of adventure, cunning, heartache, and, of course, magic. Translated from the ancient ruins by Hermione Granger, and presented here with extensive commentary by Albus Dumbledore, this stunning edition illuminates these classic tales for modern readers. With an introduction, notes, and illustrations by J.K. Rowling, this collection will thrill and delight muggles and wizards alike. I mean, it's a Harry Potter readathon, right? I have to include, like, one Harry Potter themed book. Seemed right. And finally, the last book on my TBR for History of Magic, or a book about a witch or wizard, I chose Sabrina, Daughter of Chaos by Sarah Rees Brennan. And we'll just start with the back cover for this one. It's 3 days before the new year, and Sabrina Spellman has just made the hardest decision of her life. She must leave behind her friends at Baxter High, including her ex Harvey. It's time to find a new path among the witches and warlocks at the Academy of Unseen Arts. The only thing Sabrina needs to make it all work is a little good luck, but when she uses magic to save her friend Roz from an accident, she accidentally draws the attention of a bad luck demon, with disastrous consequences. Sabrina knows she'll need help fighting the demon, but she promised Aunt Zelda she'd stay out of trouble, so she asked for an assist from her new classmates, Nick Scratch, Bad Boy Warlock, an incurable flirt, and Prudence, the cruelest, most cunning witch at school. But witches don't operate by the same rules as mortals. Sabrina may be able to get Nick and Prudence to help her, but can they be trusted? So this book I think I am most excited about because it is based off of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series on Netflix, and I absolutely love that show. I am casually kind of even dressed like Sabrina for this video. It's just, I love so much about it. I am probably going to enjoy this book the most. Not that I won't enjoy all my other books, because I love all my books, but I think this one will ultimately be my favorite. It's my predictions anyway. So that was my TBR for the OWL Readathon, and since I love to make everything cosplay, I want to try and do some like reading vlogs in my Newt Scamander cosplay, because this just seems like the perfect situation to do so. I mean, Magi Zoologist, Niffler Lawyer, Merpeople Linguistics, it all just seems Newt. Very Newt. So, any videos from here on out will be in my Newt Scamander cosplay. But thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye! I have a niffler problem, I know. They're just so cute. They're just so cute. And they steal shiny things. I relate to that so much. I love shiny things. Yeah, just love him.